Okay, now if you stumbled upon my video, that means you are really looking for someone to tell you that you don't need an inspector to do an inspection because you really feel you don't. So my video is not going to be the most popular, so you're not going to see it at the top, so you're probably scrolling and everyone is telling you the same thing. When I'm here to tell you, you don't need an inspection. I'll tell you why. Welcome to Investing for Parents. Now before I go ahead, make sure you like, subscribe, hit the notification button. You're mad already before I even start the video. Comments in there. I like to hear where people are in their buying journey and their investing journey. I like to hear that in the comments. Now, let's get into it. So, you want to know if you don't need an inspection. Short answer is, you don't need an inspection. Their bank isn't going to make you have an inspection. The inspection is for your own benefit. Now, the reason I say you don't need to pay someone for an inspection is because I think you can do it yourself. Now, at the end of the video, I'm going to tell you the way to get an inspection without having an inspection. But let me tell you why I think you can do it yourself. The person that inspects your house that goes through, they are trained to look for certain things. Some of them have expertise. Some of them are ex-contractors. Whatever their background is, they're not the best at everything. They're just well trained at seeing certain things. And if you get a good one who's been doing it for a while, then they know what to look for. They know the subtle signs. They might know how people try to hide certain things. But here's the thing with an inspection. An inspection is just a visual confirmation of what they see. They don't really go behind things. It's just what they can see, what they're allowed to see. The previous homeowner might have built the wall. They can't see behind the wall. They're looking for signs. Now, when you go to the house, you're looking for the same thing. But the only thing is, you're looking to see whether the house is this nice, this 3 bedrooms, 3 blah, 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 3 this, 3 that. Whatever. Once you're done with that, if you're choosing not to get an inspection, and I'm not getting an inspection on my next house coming up, and I'll tell you why at the end. But if you're choosing to not get an inspection, then you choose a day. You choose a day to do your inspection. 2-3 hours of which you go through the house looking at it differently. Now that your offer has been accepted and you're now onto the inspection stage, you're no longer in that euphoria of getting the house. All that's died down. Now you're thinking real world. You're thinking, all right, hope the loan goes through, moving, logistics of all kinds of things. And now you have the time to then go through that house again and look at it from a house perspective, because most of the stuff that are missed are everyday things, like the windowsills, they're stuck, they're hard to open, they don't open in certain rooms, etc. Those are things that inspectors miss. Like my first inspection of my first house was the most useless things I've ever had. The report came back with everything that I had already seen and known when I was walking through it, because I went through the house maybe 2-3 times, and the inspection came back and it was great. Now my first house was, I've learned to do so many things because I like to do things myself. Because of my first house, there pipes, this electrical, this. Because it's an overview, the inspector's not liable for anything. You can't get your money back. Something happens, they're gone in the wind. It's just a visual of what they see, someone to help you if you don't know. Now, here's the thing. In today's world with YouTube, you're listening to this video, watching this video, you can learn how to cues of what to look for and go through an inspection yourself. You can print out the same form most inspectors have, in which they go down and they look for certain things. You can do all of that by yourself. If you are not comfortable, hire an inspector. But I'm going to tell you why you may not want to in a little bit. So you can do all of this by yourself. Hell, the most daunting thing to me was working on my car. I used to take my car in all the time to a mechanic to make sure they did everything, down to from oil change to any little noise I hear. Now, I do all of my stuff myself, unless it's like an engine rebuild or engine move, because that is just painstaking work that I'm not going to do myself. But I bet you I could if I had the time and or wanted to. Oil changes. People go in for oil changes. Oil changes literally take 6 minutes. If you just went to do the oil change by yourself, learn how to do it, it takes 6 minutes to do. But so many people take their cars in because they think it's a complicated thing to do, and they don't. Just, you can learn everything. You can self-teach, self-taught, everything on the internet. So why not try it? If it's your first house, maybe you go through an inspector and just see how it is and learn, and then you go through, and maybe you'll learn on your own. But I'm here to tell you, if you want to skip that step, you can. Now, in inspection, there's like 5 main things that they look for that could cost you real money. Everything else you can learn how to do, you can change, blah, blah, blah. It's the foundation, the roof, the electrical, the plumbing, and attic and basement combined into one. Attic, whether there's mold from poor ventilation, the basement, whether there's water, the foundation, is there crack, is it settling, etc. Stuff like that. But you can learn to look for those cues. I was negotiating on a house, and the house was in a really nice area that I knew had potential to go up. This old lady was selling it because she was moving to Florida, and my offer wasn't accepted. Someone came in with a higher offer, and lo and behold, that person chose to back out of the deal. And then they came to me and they said, do you want to get this house now? I had already put a contract in on another house. They do want this house, but with no inspection. Now, me being an amateur and hearing that, I'm worried, because I'm like, what are you trying to get over on? Turns out they were just worried about a crack in the foundation that they thought would take huge amounts of money to fix. But the inspector of the previous buyer, person who put in the contract, didn't know what he was doing, so he advised them wrong, and the crack wasn't running the normal way of costing thousands of dollars. It was it would have been something that could have been patched. Now, I said no because I was like, come on, man, you don't want me to do an inspection? Why? I went through it, and I was like, decided to pass. Now, I always follow up on opportunities I think I may have missed, or I think I just didn't do my due diligence or give the full effort to. That house, knowing what I know now, and my realtor was friends of another realtor, and that's what they were talking about, and that's how I knew it now. But he couldn't tell us that at the time when he wanted the seller to sell us the house. And then I'm going through, and the house that I bought is worth $220,000 today. That house that I didn't buy because I was so worried and didn't know what I was doing and weren't prepared by myself is worth over $600,000 today. Yeah, I kick myself every day because of that. So you have to be able to do your own and realize most people are doing a job they're trained to do, and they miss things too. So you'll be more diligent on your own if you learned few things, few cues of what to do. Now, most people will tell you need an inspection. Yeah, because someone's going to come in and they're going to tell you this, that, and give you advice of what to do. All they're going to say is, this is what I see. This might cost a lot of money. Do you still want to buy the house? If you don't think it's going to cost you a lot of money, you could get the sellers to chip in, especially on the roof or something, or foundation issues, blah, blah, blah. Great, but you could have gone and done this yourself. Go on the internet, go on YouTube, learn how to read when a foundation settles, learn how to read what cracks in foundation is. Take that same inspector's guide and sheet that they use, and you go through it diligently for 3 hours by yourself, listing this, listing that. And you go back to the seller and say, this is what I see. If you want me to bring in an inspector, you're going to pay for it because I've already done this and I'm pretty sure they're going to come back with the same things. That's how you do an inspection yourself. Now, inspectors don't really know everything. And the things that cost you the most money are what you're hoping they can point out and they can know. So, this is what, if you're going to get an inspection or worried about an inspection, if you can cover plumbing, or you can cover electrical, or you can cover the roof, or you can cover the basement and attic, meaning you can try to inspect those yourself and understand what you're getting into, pick the ones that you know you can't do the best. And have that specific person. Have a plumber come in. There are plenty of plumbers that work for companies that on a weekend would come in for $100 just to go give your house a once over and see what they think about what this is. Or get an electrician who maybe works for a company who on their weekend want to make $100, comes in and they tell you all the electrical things they see. And that way you're getting the right professionals going through it. Now, here's the part where I think it's kind of messed up, but you got to use messed up things sometimes to get what you want. So this is what you do. If you're on the contract for a house, you're going through the inspection, you don't want to get an inspector because you feel kind of comfortable doing it yourself. Great. Go through it. Go get your own list. Do it yourself. But this is what you do, and this is kind of messed up. You get a contractor and you get a consultation. You get them to come in, whether it be, I don't know, any local contractor that's willing to give you a consultation, come in and once over the property. They do this kind of stuff all the time. They'll be able to quote you on what this takes to fix this, what this takes to fix that. And going through, it's natural instincts for them to tell you, hey, this looks weird. You might want us to look into this. This looks weird. That looks that. That's okay. And then in between there, you can be like, well, I was thinking of finishing the basement. Do you think there's possible moisture? Should I put up a moisture barrier? What do you think? They'll tell you. And you're getting a really good, you're getting a really high quality opinion and a really something you can trust in knowing that they do this every day. And you're not really paying for it if it's free because you don't have to use them. Like I said, it's messed up. It's people's time. But that's a way you can get around having an inspection without having an inspection. You know what I'm saying? So I believe you can do it yourself. Now, I am not having an inspection done on this property that we just settled on a contract on. Here's why and here's how I am getting around it. So I am not getting a inspection because the house has been on the market for, I'd say, 7 months or so. And within that time, all you do, even if it's previous before that, you ask the seller, listen, do you have previous inspection reports? Just ask them for previous inspection reports. Most of the times they'll give it to you because they feel like they're doing you a favor and they just want to sell the house, so they'll give you what you ask for. The previous inspection report might be an inspection report from someone who was going to buy the house 2 months ago, but saw something on the inspection report that they didn't like or they didn't want to deal with. They might see mold in the attic because of poor ventilation, but if you're a savvy person, you know that's not that expensive for you to take care of yourself, and it's easy to then add ventilation to it. But for a non-savvy buyer or someone that's not really thinking, then that'll make them go running. But for you now seeing this inspection report, you're like, well, this doesn't bother me. This doesn't bother me. I can take care of that, take care of that. That way you get a free inspection report. The person that you're going to hire to come in and do the inspection isn't going to give you much different than what you're currently looking at. And you ask them for an inspection report, even if it's for an inspection report when they first bought the house, just so you can then see what was changed, what was done, what was left the same. That way you are not paying for an inspection, but you're getting an inspection. This has been Investing for Parents. I appreciate you guys joining me. Listen, make sure you leave a comment. Make sure you leave a like. Make sure you tell me where you are in your investing journey. Just shoot me I don't know, anything. Do something. Get it done. See you next time.